Γεια σας φίλοι μου, welcome to Greeklish Outdoors. Today we are looking at a Greek military ration pack. So, stick around. So have I found the unicorn of ration packs? Well, kind of. I've been searching for a Greek military ration for years. And even though I live in Greece, it's impossible to find. However, over the last year, I've been speaking to people who currently serve and who have previously served in the Greek military and also Greek police. I also checked on the NATO website, which does give information on various militaries' ration packs. And because of all this information, I've managed to put one together. Anyway, let's take a closer look. And here it is, my Greek 24-hour ration pack. One thing I'll say before we open up the box is that the Greek military almost exclusively use off-the-shelf items in their ration packs. That means even though the ration isn't, the individual items are quite easy to source, with a few exceptions. Right, first let's open up the box. And there you can see, packed full of items. Right, let's get them all out properly and give you a better look. First thing we have is fasolia, which is giant beans in tomato sauce. Next is keftadakia, which is meatballs in tomato sauce. Next we have dolmades, which is vine leaves stuffed with rice. We have a pack of tissues, a sesame seed bar, 2 sticks of coffee, a pack of matches, 2 packs of honey, a pure Ceylon tea bag, some water purification tablets, a bendable metal stove, 2 packs of fuel tablets, 2 packs of salt, 2 sticks of sugar, we have some fruit flavor boiled sweets, and we have 4 packs of crackers. So that is everything in this Greek ration. One thing you might notice is there's no cutlery, there are no wet wipes, and there aren't any cold drinks here. However, there's plenty of food to get on with. Right, I'm going to split these into breakfast, lunch and dinner, and we're going to start out with breakfast. And there we have breakfast. We're going to have the dolmades, we've got some of the crackers, some honey, we're going to have the coffee with some sugar, and of course we're going to test out this little foldable stove. Right, first up, let's get some water boiling up for the coffee. Right, first let's bend this stove into place. It is quite windy today, so I'll be lucky to light this with these matches in the open. But we'll see. No, let's try that again with a little windbreak. Let's open these dolmades. Now these you can eat cold. They smell great already. Those vine leaves are delicious. Let's open up these crackers. Pack of crackers. Each pack has got 12 crackers in. This is one of the compromises I had to make with this ration, is that the crackers, the original Greek crackers, are not available. So I had to substitute with a biscuit. These are ones that are commonly sold on Greek military specialist websites, and they taste in between like a rich tea biscuit, but ever so slightly salted. Let's open up this honey. It has crystallized a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Let's add the coffee. Nescafe is such a common brand here in Greece. And I'm going to add some sugar because there's no creamer. Surprisingly today, I'm going to have it warm. So this tin contains approximately 10 of these dolmades. If I cut one in half, that's what it looks like inside. Super tasty. These tins are full of olive oil. You can taste, I think it's dill in there. It's very satisfying. If you've never had vine leaves before, they have got a unique taste, especially in combination with the dill and the rice, but they are delicious. These particular ones are vegetarian, but you can get them stuffed with minced pork meat. Yes, they're slightly slimy because they've been in a tin, but they're very, very tasty. The rice is cooked well. It's not too mushy. There's quite a lot to have for one person, for one meal, I think. Definitely need something with them, like a cracker perhaps. Mop up some of that oil in there. Yeah, the cracker adds a little extra texture, of course, a little extra flavour, soaks up the juices. That's really good. I do love dolmades, but I am looking forward later on to the beans and the meatballs. Very good. This brand, Zanne, is a very, very popular brand here in Greece. Anyway, you can find it in the supermarkets here, but this is the one you'll find in the military rations. Yeah, can't complain. Pretty good. Unusual to have this for me for breakfast, but still nice. Plenty of carbs in there to get you going for the day. I like it. The fuel tab's run out, and that is, warm enough for coffee. Right, let's give this a try. Right, yamas. It's slightly bitter, but it's very, very smooth. It's not boiling hot, which makes it very, very drinkable. That sugar really is needed, I think. Yeah, for coffee, that's actually not too bad at all. I know here it's very common, Nescafe. It is in many other countries as well. But it's actually quite nice, smooth coffee for instant coffee. And plenty of caffeine to give you a boost in the morning. Yeah, that's not bad. All right, let's put some of this honey on these crackers. They're all a little bit broken. And it's quite difficult to spread with it being crystallized, but that's a hell of a chunk of honey on there. Let's give it a try. You might have noticed, but in honor of the Greek military, I'm wearing their Greek lizard camo. Right. Delicious. Because the biscuits isn't that sweet, the sweetness from the honey really helps brighten up those crackers. Nice floral honey. Of course, Greece is famous for its honey. I'm not saying this is the best honey in the world. There's much better honey locally, but it is still very good. Nice and sweet. You get 2 packs, of course, of this. Have it with those crackers. You could put it in the black tea, which we're going to have later on. I know it's packed full of sugar, but because it's honey, I don't feel as guilty. Wash it down with some coffee. And that is a very different, because of the dolmades, but a very nice and very filling breakfast here on the beach in Greece. Right, I'm going to start moving around a little bit. I'll bring you back for lunch. So it's lunchtime. We're going to have the giant beans in tomato sauce, the fasolia. We've got the sesame bars, some more crackers. We've got tea with a little bit of honey. We're going to check out these tissues. We're even going to try one of these little boiled sweets. Right, let's get the stove on because I want to heat up these beans in tomato sauce. I am going to open it a little bit just so we don't get any exploding cans. Just enough like that. Now let's leave that now for a few minutes to heat up. Right, let's open up these sesame bars. Bit broken, but they'll be okay. These can be teeth breakers, so you have to be very careful when you're eating them. More crackers. Just going to put a few on the tray for now. This boiled sweet. So I have two flavors here, the red one and a yellow one. We'll find out what that one's like later. The tissues in the Greek army ration are, like many of the items here, off the shelf. In fact, I've used tissues by this manufacturer many times. I can't expect them to be different in quality to most other tissues you get on the market. Again, okay in strength, enough to wipe your hands and your face with. Yeah, they're nice and soft. Yeah, do the job. Right, I think our beans are ready. And that's what you're getting. Basically butter beans in tomato sauce with onions and herbs. These are a staple in Greek households, so I'm not surprised they put these in ration packs. Right, they smell really good. Let's give them a try. In this wind, the can has cooled down pretty quickly. Right, cheers. The beans are lovely and creamy when you bite into them. It's got a nice rich tomato sauce, a mild herb flavour. You can really taste the tomatoes and the oil in this. Yeah, as I said, this is a staple for Greek households, fasolia. A really nice vegetarian dish, which you can have on its own. Some people put it on the table with other things like some souvlakis or other types of meat, but it can just be a main course on its own. And it is very tasty. And this one, for canned, is actually not bad. Is it as good as what Yaya makes? Obviously not, but it's still very tasty. But if you're a Greek soldier and you're having this, it's like a taste of home. So yeah, good morale boost. It's filling, it's nutritious, there's protein, fats, carbs in this. It's super tasty. And of course, we can dip our crackers in this to absorb all that nice, got that nice juice there. At midday here, it's about 7 degrees now, and it is getting well below zero in parts of this area at night time. I think the ski resort near us had like -10 recently, so winter is definitely here. Although, of course, we still get the beautiful sun. That's a great meal to have at lunchtime. So I've just put some water to boil for the tea. Let's try one of these sesame bars. These aren't actually that hard. Sometimes these can be real killers in your teeth. In fact, the ones in the German ration are super hard, but this is actually nice and soft. It's sweet, it's got a lovely sesame taste, and although it's got lots of glucose in there to stick all the seeds together, in my mind, because it's sesame seeds, it's healthy. It's satisfying, I think even just one of those 3 bars would be enough to finish off your meal. Then the rest of them you can maybe dip into throughout the day as a little snack. Very good. So, Jolly Superior tea bags made in Sri Lanka. Of course, we can add a little bit of honey to it as well. Normally I don't have sugar in my tea, but sometimes honey, especially if you're not feeling very well, is very, very good. The water is not boiling hot because I don't want to scald that honey, just nicely warm. Right, I'm going to let that brew for a second. Nicely brewed. Right, let's give this a try. Very tasty. A lot of polyphenolics and theaflavins from the tea and the honey. Good antioxidants. It's smooth, it's aromatic, it's slightly sweet, very delicious. Nice cup of tea in the sunshine. Last thing for us to try is this little sweet. Oh, unfortunately, they've given me a cinnamon one, and I hate cinnamon. It's sweet, slightly fiery, sorry. A lot of people in Greece love cinnamon, so I understand why they put it in the ration, but it's not for me. I'm gonna have a quick swig of tea because I don't want the last taste in my mouth for lunch to be that cinnamon. Ah, that's better. Right, that's lunch done. I'll bring you back a little bit later on for dinner. So for dinner, we're going to have the meatballs in tomato sauce. We're going to have the coffee with sugar. We've got some more crackers. And finally, we've got a couple of those yellow boiled sweets now. Right, let's get started and heat up this main meal. Nearly all these tins expire in either 2027 or 2028. So it's got a pretty good shelf life. Again, I'm just going to pop the lid a little bit. I don't want it exploding. Right, I'm fed up of hot drinks today, so I'm going to make the coffee cold, which is very traditional to do here in Greece. Frappe, especially in summertime. I just want to thank all the people that helped and advised with this ration. Without you guys, I couldn't have made this video. So, ευχαριστώ πολύ. We have the biscuits, crackers. Again, I'm just going to put a few on the tray for now. And these boiled sweets, I do hope they're a better flavour. They're the same colour. Right, in fact, let's have one now. Lemon, hurrah! They're crunchy, but once you dig into them, they become nice and chewy. A real strong lemon flavour. Full of sugar, of course. A little bit of energy, so not something to clean your teeth with. That's another thing this ration is missing, I think, is some gum. Always nice to have a bit of gum to be able to clean your teeth after the food, but these are very, very good and much better than that awful cinnamon one. I think one of the reasons why the Greek military rations are so difficult to come by is the fact that Greece really keeps themselves to themselves, and apart from some troops which went to Afghanistan and a few other little places at one point, they're not really an expeditionary force, they're kind of a defensive force, and therefore they're not really away from base that often as far as I'm aware. So there's not really a need to produce a lot of MREs, unlike countries like the US, the UK, etc. So most of the cooking they have, most of the food they have are at camp or on base. and therefore a need for a military ration that you take out with you is not such a high priority. So the meatballs, I believe, are heated up enough. I should state that this is a 280 gram portion, which is very similar for the beans and for the dolmades too. I should state that in a Greek military ration, there are approximately 3,400 kilocalories. You may have noticed I'm not putting the food actually on the tray today, and that is purely because I'm at the beach and I don't really want to file my teeth down with bits of sand that will go into the main meals. But you do get quite a few meatballs full of oil, tomato sauce. These will be made from pork. Yeah, and they're super tasty. Right, let's get stuck into these. They're soft, they're meaty, and it almost tastes like there's wine in the sauce. Packed full of protein and fats, of course. You get approximately 12 meatballs per can. You want to use these crackers to dip in that sauce, as it is quite oily. Delicious. Of course, you could just break those crackers up into the sauce to absorb even more. Let's have some cracker and meatball. Oh, it's hot. They're delicious. That's probably my favourite meal of the three today. I don't mind vegetarian food, but I do like my meat. Not in that way. Yeah, tasty. I'm really happy with this one. The crackers go really well. The sauce is tasty. The meatballs are tasty. You get plenty of them. And it's pretty damn filling too. And for canned food, it tastes pretty good. Is it as good as the canned food from France? Maybe not quite. It's a different kind of food, of course, but it's still good. Right, a little bit of this cold coffee to wash that down. Yeah, not as nice cold. Maybe I've been doing a disservice to rations in the past by not heating this up. I think the sugar's not dissolved as well, that's probably why as well. This is why I don't like coffee, I think, because I've had it cold so many times. But I can't mark it down on that because the warm one was very smooth and actually not too bad. Anyway, that is the end of this Greek 24-hour ration pack. I thought it was very good. It was tasty. The food is not like cordon bleu food, like French ration. It might be lacking in some accessories and some snacks that many other rations do, but it does give you is good, wholesome, quality food. The sesame crackers are pretty good. I would have liked to have seen maybe some isotonic beverages, some gum, maybe a couple of other different snacks as well. As it stands, it's pretty good. The Greek military have been quite smart. Logistically, you could get a lot of the items off the shelf, and it's good, wholesome food. A lot of young men will be going off to do their national service, and if they have food like this, it'll probably remind them of home. So yeah, can't fault it. So how though will it rate on our MRE leaderboard? Well, I'm torn because I'm loyal to Greece because I live here. I also like the food, but I did think there are some things missing. So to be fair, as I have to be, I'm going to give it a 7.7 out of 10. So it's not a massively high score for the unicorn of rations, but it's solid. It's a solid ration. I'd be happy to be given this one, just like a few little extras if I'm being honest. But I did enjoy it and my stomach is full. Let me know your thoughts on this. Did you like the ration? Did you think it needed a few extras? If you are serving in the Greek military or have served in the past, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so today. It really helped the channel out. But for now, thanks for watching. Take care. Much love. See you next time.